Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel, which is all about educational beauty. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can stop your concealer and foundation from creasing, no matter where it is on your face. This is not just about the eye area, this is about everywhere. Smile lines, forehead, anywhere. I'm going to be showing you how you stop it so that you don't get those creases and you can just be carefree throughout the day with your makeup on and not worry about anything sitting in those lines. So stay tuned because this works on all skin types, including mature skin, and I can't wait for you guys to actually change your whole makeup game with this. I very quickly want to share that I do have an online publication called Confessions of a Creative where I covered things like self-culture, beauty, style, everything that I know you're going to be interested in. There are two versions available that you can subscribe with. One is a free version where you get access to majority of the articles. The second one is a paid version, which is only going to cost about $1 a month, and you get access to a lot more, especially detailed beauty posts and a little room where we can actually chat into. If you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. And don't forget, I'm also on Instagram. Let's jump into this video now. We're starting with a clean, fresh base. I haven't got any skincare on, so let's start with my milk glazing milk. So this is just my general skincare that I use day to day. So this has nothing to do with trying to stop the creasing or anything. I'm just going to press this in. Oh, this feels so good on my skin at the moment. My skin is very tired. I didn't get enough sleep last night. I usually let that kind of like sink into my skin for probably about 30 seconds. And then I move right in to my Rhode Peptide Glazing Fluid, which is this. I love this skincare at the moment. I just take one pump. It's quite a small pump, like amount. And I like that because not too much kind of comes out. Oh, just doing it because I feel I need it at the moment. Okay, then I move on to my Rhode Barrier Restore Cream. I don't know why I was going to call this ceramide or something. Maybe that was the other one that I just used. Yeah, Barrier Restore Cream. And I take about a pea-sized amount, not a lot. And then I smooth this all over my face, but I avoid the eye area. Now I feel like my skin is going to stay really nice and hydrated because this is actually very hydrating, this entire 3-step routine from Rhode. I feel like even when I go for an ultra matte finish or anything like that, like underneath, this skincare is keeping my skin hydrated. My skin's not drying out or like shriveling up. The next thing I do want to very quickly do is add a spot treatment because I have a spot here and it's just a bit red, and I want to put this on and see what, like, hopefully this can sort it out. This is actually the new one from Fenty Skin. It's the Blemish Defeater. It's a BHA spot targeting gel. You basically just apply. I don't know if any of it's come out. Oh yeah, it has. Apply this over the spot. There, we're just going to let that sit on there. Hopefully we'll be able to see how this works because I think I've used this once before, but I forgot to kind of like pay attention to the results. Very quickly add a small amount of my eye cream, which is my Drunk Elephant C Tango, and just add this to my eye area. You can use your usual skincare. However, if you do get lines across majority of your face, like that creasing from the concealer and foundation, then I would recommend opting for something which is kind of extra hydrating for your skin, because it means that we're going to have to kind of apply a little bit of extra powder in those areas, and it may be that you're not used to that amount of powder. Now, don't get worried. I'm not going to go crazy with powder because this whole routine, step by step, is actually how you can minimize and actually avoid completely, in some cases, the creasing in your concealer and foundation. This isn't just about the under eye areas, this is anywhere. So this is great for mature skin too. So we've got that hydration, that's going to get to work because we're going to seal everything in after a little while. So we're going to let that do its job. We're now going to move on to the next step, which is my primer. Now I'm going to be using my Vanish Airbrush Primer from Hourglass. Now what I want you to do is actually target this to specific areas. I don't want you to apply this everywhere. I do find that this primer can kind of give you that really nice matte finish to your look, and it definitely does control the oil. But what I want you to do is apply this on the areas that you know that you get that creasing. So I'm going to take this in my hand, smooth that over, and now I'm going to apply this to the areas that I know that sometimes I can get some kind of creasing. So just smooth a thin layer across my forehead. I am going to apply this just here because I do get creasing there sometimes. especially these areas here. And then lastly, I'm going to take it, not close to the under eye area, but, you know, not close to the eyes, but kind of on that very upper cheek area, kind of crossing into the under eye area. At the end of the day, you know where you get the creasing all over your face when your makeup is done. So when you look in the mirror and you've had your foundation concealer on for a while, you know where those areas are. It could be the forehead, it could be the under eyes, it could be other areas on your face, but you do know, and that's where I really want you to focus on applying that primer, because this is going to help to keep the shine at bay and help to reduce that kind of oiliness come through, or any excess moisture that may come through. So it's going to really help that area as the first step to avoiding that creasing. So what we're doing is using this hack to almost kind of help the skin first before we actually do other things to help the makeup, the concealer and the foundation to stop creasing there. Because what happens is when you have that line in the skin or any kind of like depression in the skin or kind of fine lines, and you put makeup over it and you haven't actually applied it properly, then sometimes what can happen is that makeup can start building up in those fine lines and it looks like it's creases basically. You can see them even more. So that's what we're going to be stopping. So now that we've applied that primer everywhere, what I'm going to do now is apply my concealer, and I'm using my Tarte face tape. No, it's not face tape, it's shape tape. It's shape tape. This is 27S, which is a little bit lighter than my usual color, but the reason I'm doing that is purely because I know that the foundation I'm using currently is usually what I use when I'm super tanned, and my tan's got on my face a little bit, so I'm just trying to balance it all out. So I'm using that. And I'm not going to apply anything to my eyelids at the moment. I'm just going to work on like kind of sculpting the face first. Now, if you do not underpaint and you would usually go in with your foundation first, it doesn't mean that this isn't going to help you. All it means is you skip through to the next stage. Now, I'm going to be applying this over my under eye area. The reason I'm going for a little bit of a lighter concealer today is because I am so tired. I can really see the dark circles today and I just want some extra brightness, so that's what I'm doing. Now, the thing is, even though you may crease in certain areas, such as this area here, you might still want to kind of like conceal the area, right? So I know that some people may assume that, okay, in the areas I crease, I'm not actually going to apply a lot of makeup, but that doesn't always help, because ultimately, maybe you do need that concealer there. Maybe you really do want to cover that area up because of darkness or pigmentation. So it kind of isn't helping you. That isn't necessarily the solution then, is it? So what we want to do is apply the concealer wherever we want to apply it and not be stopped by these dreaded creases, right? We're going to just kind of brighten the area up, and then I'm going to show you the other kind of things that you can do to stop it from creasing. So we have got this product just wherever I wanted to kind of like apply it for my under eyes, and I'm quite happy with that. I think I might just apply a little bit here and here, and we'll just do small amount there. I'm going to get my Hollywood complexion brush and I'm just going to buff the areas in other than my under eye area. There you go. Right, we're going to go in with a sponge, and this is where I'm going to start buffing in that concealer. It's going to look very white, but don't worry about that. This isn't about the colors or the amount of makeup I'm applying. This is all about the technique and the order. Now that we've done that, I'm going to use my other concealer, which is my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the darker shade, and I'm just going to very quickly sculpt my face. So just do that wherever you want to do it, but mine is usually my cheekbones, just up here for a little lift, and then on my jawline. Oh yeah, and my nose. I love how I'm just like, mine is just, and it's like so many places. Okay, it's not even, but I'm gonna even it out with my brush. What I meant is it's not symmetrical. So, okay, there you go. Let's quickly do this. I would say, I know I did say to you that, if you don't underpaint, then, you don't have to. You can just skip through to the foundation stage and just apply your concealer wherever you want. I would actually say that I think underpainting does help to actually reduce the creasing a little bit, because it's just kind of like, it's not sitting on top. It's kind of like almost working as a secondary base. after your kind of skincare and then before your foundation. Okay, this bit we were going to make symmetrical because I was a little bit off center. Now I'm going to get my NARS Sheer Glow in Aruba. I'm going to put this at the back of my hand. And this is where you're going to see this, just this whole routine is so good at holding your creases back. Now I've got my Milk Hydro Grip and I'm going to put a pump of that into this. So I did this technique a few videos ago, I think, and I've had some comments from you guys saying that it's been a game changer for you. It's literally changed the way that you apply foundation, and it is honestly amazing. It's mixing your foundation in with a gel-based primer. Some of you said to me, and it was really funny because I was reading your comments and I was like, I hope she kept going. Like, I hope they kept going with what they were doing, because some of you, I was reading it and you were like, oh, I started mixing in it and then it was all like lumpy, but then I kept the faith and I kept going and then it came out amazing. Because what can happen is you mix it in and it can look a bit lumpy and you're like, no thanks. But then you keep going, mix it in, you start applying it, it just melts into the skin and your skin looks like glass. It's amazing. So I've mixed that in at the back of my hand. Now this is where I am going to go over with my foundation. And like I said, if you don't underpaint, you could just go over your skin, like skip the concealer sculpting section and go over with this and then add your concealer wherever you want to add it. It's honestly such an amazing technique, guys. Like, I don't think I've had a single person comment saying it didn't work for them. Like, everyone has messaged back saying it has literally been a game changer. They cannot believe how good their foundation looks and how like it just looks glass-like. Now, whatever's left on this sponge, I'm going to take onto my eyelids. Okay, we've covered all this up. Now at this point, everything is tacky on your skin, right? As in, it's all a little bit wet because obviously you don't have any powder or anything on top. This is also the point where the creases will start to develop. So you're going to start seeing those creases come through because with your facial expressions, with your facial expressions, you know, smiling and everything like this is why when I'm doing like clients' makeup, I always say to them once I've done their foundation before the powder, please do not. No smiling, nothing, like no expressions, just complete poker face, right? Because we don't want those creases to settle in. Now, if you are making facial expressions like what I'm doing, it's fine because we can still kind of take them out. We can still take those, like the product that's built up in those creases out before we actually move on to powdering. The areas that I have a concern with are going to start creasing up, but not as bad as they usually do because we went in with that targeted primer to begin with, right? So that's helping those areas. It's a helping hand to what we're going to do now. Now I've got my powder, which is my Makeup Forever Ultra HD setting powder in light banana. You can use any translucent powder you like, although I would recommend it is a, you know, good powder that has good reviews. So I would always read the reviews of powders, like if you're stuck on what to get. If you actually head over to my online publication called Confessions of a Creative, I have the best powders for every skin type on there, and it is something you're going to love. I think it's currently what I have is a selection of the best setting powders. There is another post coming soon, which is the best setting powder for each skin type. Head over there, you're going to see that on my publication. It's like, honestly, you need to save it. So I've got this, I've got my powder puff, which is my Laura Mercier powder puff. Now, I've got this in one hand ready because time is everything right now, guys. Time is everything, because what we're going to be doing is making sure we don't have any creases in some of these areas. First off, I want to just set my eyelids because I just want to get that done, right? So you can already see that there are creases there settling in that crease line. Now what I'm going to do is take the pointy part of my sponge and I'm just going to press. There's nothing on the sponge other than whatever was already on it. And this is basically picking up any excess product from there and soaking it up. Now, while my eyes are looking down, I'm going to very quickly get my powder and I'm going to press on top. You can get a smaller amount than me if you want. You don't have to use as much as me. It's sitting there. We've got the Real Technique setting brush, nothing on this brush. And we're going to dust this away. That is completely set now. It's not going to go anywhere. You're not going to get any creases there whatsoever. Now what we want to do is do the same thing for the under eyes. The under eyes are the first thing that you should do once you've done your eyelids, if you do that area. Under eyes first, we're going to get rid of any creasing that's settled in those lines. We're then going to go in with the powder, press it in, and then we're going to dust it off, right? This is why you need everything kind of all at once here. And we're going to get this sponge, squeeze it, just so we can really get into that area. Really kind of like press into the crease, like the creasing that you can see, and then drag up. Not too hard though, softly, yeah? Right, let's get the powder. Okay, there you go. Now, I'm going to get the sponge. While that's sitting there, which is not very long at all, we're going to do the same thing here. I feel like I look like a crazy person doing this right now. Okay, do the same thing here. There you go. Get your brush, nothing on this brush, very lightly. We're going to dust this off. We've only done the under eye area, right? We're not dragging this powder anywhere else over the face. We're just sticking to really setting the eye area. That is done. Guys, you're not going to get any creasing there now, I'm telling you. If you follow this routine down to every single bit with the same products or very similar texture products, and you apply like a similar amount, even if you apply less, it is going to work for you. I'm telling you, this is going to honestly stop your creasing. It's amazing. I have been doing this technique for years, and I don't have to worry about creasing. And I get creasing. I used to get creasing, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm telling you, this is going to work amazingly for you. Okay, now what about the other areas that maybe you get creasing? Similar thing. What we're going to do is make sure there is no creasing there. Grab your powder. So maybe you don't want to go over your entire face with powder. You can do, by the way, if you want that ultra matte look, you can. But I don't want that look today, so I'm only applying on the areas that I know. I do not want that area creasing. I would rather kind of like have glow in the other areas. So I've applied it there. Sometimes, by the way, I do get it here as well. I'm gonna dust that off. Now, the other areas of the face where I'm not so concerned about creasing, you really need to decide whether you want to apply powder there or not. And if you do, you don't have to apply it in the way that I have. If you apply it with a powder puff, then obviously, like I said, you're going to get a matte finish, but you do have other options. So on the rest of the face where you're not so concerned about creasing, what you could do is get a kind of like powder brush, whatever size you want to get, dip it into the powder, take the excess off so there's not too much powder on here, and then kind of lightly dust it over the face. And what this does is it actually does set your makeup, but later on in the day you will still get that slight glow come through. So don't think that this is going to set it and that's it. Dusting powder on your face is not going to keep your makeup there all day. With a brush, if you dust it on, it's not going to do it. It will set it for a little while, but eventually you will see that shine come through. You will see that glowy kind of look come through. And if you have excessive oil production, then you will see oiliness come through. It will look greasy. That's just the truth of it. I'm just dusting off some powder. That's the truth of it. It is what it is. It does come through. So if you really want to stop that shine from coming through, you have to use a powder puff and you have to press it in, making sure there are no creases there. That is basically done. Now I just want to very quickly kind of do my brows and stuff so that I can just talk you through like what we've done, and I'm also going to very quickly show you how you can just add a little bit of kind of glow to this. Okay, brows and lips are done. I'm just going to add a little bit of bronzer. So I'm using my Veil brush and my Too Faced chocolate bronzer. Yeah, it just says chocolate bronzer. It's a little mini one you can get from Sephora. It's pretty good. So I'm going to use that to just kind of like sculpt my face a little bit. Just warm up the sides of the face. I feel like that's kind of enough. I don't want too much. Now I'm going to get my Hollywood Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury. This is number 6, and I'm just going to get a bit of this on the back of my hand. I'm going to get my sponge, get the back of it, swirl it over this, and this is where I'm just going to add a bit of kind of highlight to my cheekbones, and it's very subtle. But I just wanted you to see how you can give a very natural finish to the look. Like, you don't have to use highlighter, like powder highlighter or anything, or like full on like cream highlighter with thick chunky bits in there. Like, it can be very, very subtle. And with this look, you've managed to like keep those creases at bay, but also kind of like finish it off how you want to finish it off, with a bit of kind of glow and bronze. And yeah, so that is exactly how you can make sure that you don't get that creasing from your concealer and your foundation. If you, like I said, follow all of these kind of like steps, you're gonna not have to deal with these creases ever again. It's gonna be a game changer for you. So I really do hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments box below. Don't forget that all the products are listed in my description box below, and you can just click on the links and it will take you straight to it. Also, please don't forget that my Sigma brush set is still live. We sold out to begin with, but we actually restocked because they did so well, and you can use the coupon code. You can use the code NinaUbi10 on that brush set. Just apply it at checkout, okay? The link is in the description below, so make sure you head over there, grab yours, so that you're not disappointed you managed to get one before these sell out, because I don't think we're going to be restocking it again after this. There you go. I hope you've enjoyed this video today. I hope this has helped to keep your creases at bay. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. And until the next video, take care, and I'll see you soon.